Okay, good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to the Affordable Housing Strategy Implementation Committee for Tuesday, April the 15th. I'd like to call this meeting to order. I need a motion to adopt the agenda. Who would like to do that?
I can do that.
Mike, you look like you want to do that. Is it true? Okay, good. Okay, moved by Mike Clare. All those in favor? Opposed? That carries. Thank you very much. Disclosures of pecuniary interest or the general nature thereof. Okay, nobody looks like they're pecuniary interested, which is good. We need to adopt the meetings from the last agenda, the last meeting that was held on December the 3rd. We need a motion to adopt those minutes. Okay, Christopher, thank you. All those in favor? Opposed? Okay, that carries. Thank you. And we have no delegations for today's meetings, but we do have scheduled business. So we have the Richmond Hills Affordable Housing Initiatives update, and this is going to be a presentation by Ashley Dickinson, Project Manager, Affordable Housing. So I see you on screen there, Ashley. So if you want to go ahead, this is a 25-minute or so presentation. So you can start whenever you're ready.
Thank you very much, Mr. Mayor. So good afternoon, everyone. Mr. Mayor, members of council and committee members, thank you for joining us today for our Affordable Housing Initiatives update. Next slide, please. Through my presentation today, I will provide updates on two key affordable housing initiatives, the Community Improvement Plan for Affordable Housing and Sustainable Design, and the Affordable Housing Concierge Pilot Program. I'll then touch briefly on other affordable housing related work underway. Next slide, please. First, I'll provide an update to work on the city's recently approved CIP for affordable housing and sustainable design. I will refer to this as the CIP through this presentation. Next slide, please. The CIP was approved by Council in late 2024 and results from recommendations coming out of three Council-approved initiatives. The Affordable Housing Strategy identified a CIP as a tool for incentivizing affordable and rental housing. Both the Community Energy and Emissions Plan and the Sustainability Metrics Program set targets to ensure new buildings are designed to reduce emissions over the long term. The CIP targets the type of housing that is most needed by the city, which is affordable rental housing. It aims to incentivize the supply of new, sustainably built affordable rental housing by the private and nonprofit sectors throughout Richmond Hill, which is currently not being provided by the market without assistance. The CIP is intended to provide financial support that can efficiently stack with funding and financing programs available from senior levels of government as well as York Region. Next slide, please. The CIP establishes four incentive streams available to sustainably built affordable rental housing projects that commit to providing affordable units for a minimum of 25 years. The city is implementing the CIP through a phased approach, with the first CIP application intake window accepting submissions for two of the four incentive streams, as indicated on this slide. The Per Affordable Unit Grant provides up to $150,000 for each affordable unit, designed to offset city fees and charges associated with residential development. The Tax Increment Equivalent Grant, or TIG, will offset the city portion of property tax increases associated with new or redevelopment of a property, proportionate to the amount of affordable units in a project. Applicants may apply for one or both of these incentives. Next slide, please. In January of this year, we launched our first CIP intake. We posted application forms online, along with a supporting CIP guideline document that provides additional information for potential applicants. The deadline for applications is April 25th, 2025. Once the CIP intake window closes at the end of April, submissions will be screened for eligibility. Eligible applications will then undergo a financial feasibility review completed by a third-party consultant with expertise in this field. Eligible applications will be scored by a panel of staff in accordance with criteria set out in the CIP guideline. Final recommendations for CIP funding awards will proceed to Council for consideration in the fall of 2025. Next slide, please. We've worked to promote our CIP across various channels to ensure maximum uptake. We promoted the incentive through a targeted stakeholder email list comprised of both local development and nonprofit contacts, as well as stakeholder groups, including Build, ResCon, CMHC, York Region, and ONFA, who also communicated our programs via their communication channels. We promoted the programs on our city website and social media channels, in our economic development newsletter, and in NRU, a leading planning publication. We also incorporated language about the program into our standard development planning letter templates with affordable housing coordination staff, meeting with potential applicants to discuss these incentives in more detail. Based on these activities, staff are confident that we will receive eligible applications for this CIP intake. Next slide, please. Next, I'll review progress on another exciting affordable housing initiative underway in the city, the Affordable Housing Concierge Pilot Program. Next slide, please. The city's 2024 to 2027 strategic plan, Pillar 1, Growing a Livable, Sustainable Community, identifies the facilitation of housing options as a priority for the corporation and the community. This priority supports the establishment of a pilot program to assist parties seeking to deliver affordable housing in our city. This work is also directed by the Affordable Housing Strategy, which includes Action Plan Item 7.7 to establish a concierge support program for affordable housing providers in support of two goals set out by the strategy that seek to increase affordable housing options in both the rental and ownership markets. In addition to the directions set out in our strategic plan and our affordable housing strategy, this project is also a commitment of our Housing Accelerator Fund action plan and a commitment as part of Council's approval of dedicated affordable housing coordination staff. The Affordable Housing Concierge Program is anchored in planning and building services so that the housing concierge staff can best collaborate with planning colleagues on affordable housing related policies, processes, and tools. Next slide, please. The Affordable Housing Concierge Pilot Program is guided by two high-level and interconnected goals. The city understands there is a need to help applicants seeking to deliver affordable housing to navigate city processes and the affordable housing landscape more broadly. This, in turn, will facilitate the provision of long-term affordable housing in Richmond Hill. Next slide, please. We initiated background work on this project last year by reviewing existing housing concierge programs. While there are limited examples of established programs in the GTA, we have incorporated relevant findings into the pilot program design. We undertook a high-level environmental scan to understand what internal and external factors might influence the concierge program design, including our existing affordable housing policies and supports, and programs offered by other levels of government. We also considered existing consultation feedback obtained through other affordable housing project work, focused on how the city could better help and facilitate the delivery of long-term affordable housing in our community. Lastly, we've been working directly alongside one private and one nonprofit development proponent who are each in our planning approvals process currently to better understand the process and potential challenges from a customer perspective. Next slide, please. As a result of the background work that I've just outlined, we've identified 3 areas of service opportunity for the Affordable Housing Concierge Pilot Program. These findings and opportunities are grouped into categories as outlined on this slide. Next slide, please. We'll start with opportunities related to prioritization. The city does not currently have a formal process to identify affordable housing applications. We generally become aware of these applications through the planning process, but their identification is happening through various ad hoc means, and there is an opportunity to develop a way to formally identify these developments as a priority. In addition, the city lacks a formal prioritized development approvals process for affordable housing developments once they've been identified. City staff have been and continue to work on accelerating the development approvals process. However, an opportunity exists to identify and document efficiencies within the process that may be leveraged by these priority development applications. Next slide, please. Next, we have identified opportunities related to communication. Affordable housing proponents indicated that they have challenges associated with identifying appropriate contacts within organizations across the housing landscape, for example, CMHC or York Region. As such, there is an opportunity for the Housing Concierge Program to operate as a singular point of contact for affordable housing projects in Richmond Hill, to respond to and redirect inquiries and facilitate an intergovernmental liaison. In addition, often affordable housing projects involve multiple stakeholders and agreements. These complexities are not traditionally part of the development approvals process conversation. There's an opportunity for the Housing Concierge staff to work with clients to understand these types of arrangements and ensure relevant information is communicated internally throughout the development approvals process. Next slide, please. Be complicated to find and understand the various affordable housing partners and programs that are out there. The concierge program can assist with coordination between these programs. Affordable housing concierge staff can build awareness of and relationships with these program partners to provide information to potential affordable housing proponents and to support coordination between the city, affordable housing developers, and other housing program providers. Similarly, as the affordable housing landscape is ever-changing, the concierge staff can also maintain up-to-date public-facing resources for staff and affordable housing providers, including our existing Developers Handbook for Affordable Housing, currently available on our website. Next slide, please. In consideration of the findings and opportunities I've just described, the pilot program objectives are as follows. Improve coordination and better share information internally and externally. Foster connections between parties with an interest in developing affordable housing. And lastly, develop a process to identify and streamline priority development applications. Next slide, please. Based on the background research, consultation feedback, and experiential learning, we propose that we can best achieve the program objectives through a program comprised of a one-window affordable housing support available to everyone, and an affordable housing concierge service available to select clients who meet affordable housing criteria. The Affordable Housing Concierge Pilot Program design will establish a one-window point of contact as a first step for developers looking to deliver affordable housing in Richmond Hill, with eligible projects being further supported through the concierge service. Both the one-window support and the concierge service aim to achieve program objectives of improving coordination, better sharing information, and fostering connections. In addition, the Affordable Housing Concierge Service will provide enhanced supports for select eligible clients, including prioritized development approvals processing. Next, I will go into more detail on how the Affordable Housing Concierge Program key findings and service opportunities translate into action. Next slide, please. The One Window Affordable Housing Support Service aims to demonstrate our enthusiasm to work with our development and nonprofit community partners to deliver affordable housing, and provides the singular point of contact support that we heard a desire for through consultation. This service seeks to provide general support to internal staff and to the development and nonprofit communities by way of a dedicated affordable housing website, an affordable housing email to field inquiries, housing coordination staff available to meet with external parties to provide information about existing Richmond Hill and other governmental programs, and a refreshed Developers Handbook online resource. This support also includes connecting interested parties to other program contacts as appropriate. Next slide, please. The Affordable Housing Concierge Service will go one step further for eligible clients. This service will be available to affordable housing applications that are identified as eligible for concierge support. This support will involve the assignment of senior and experienced staff to concierge applications and access to a streamlined development approvals process. This priority approvals process was also a key piece of input we heard through consultation and a best practice based on jurisdictional research. In addition, concierge clients will have the support of affordable housing concierge staff as an internal advocate and liaison for expedited inquiries and information through the end-to-end development approvals process. This will include understanding and communicating critical project timelines and coordination with other program partners as appropriate. Next slide, please. As we finalize the program design I've just outlined, we are also turning our mind to program implementation, which will include the formalization of a priority development approvals process and internal governance, including staff roles and responsibilities. We aim to promote and launch the program by the end of Q3 of this year. Next slide, please. In addition to the two programs that I've just discussed, I wanted to conclude this presentation with information on two other affordable housing related projects. York Region has an existing policy in place that allows for the deferral of the payment of regional development charges, or DCs, for affordable rental buildings, provided the local municipality provides a similar contribution. Last month, Council approved for the deferral of payment of city DCs for a project that was eligible for the region's policy, as well as approval of future eligible projects. This approval means that eligible affordable rental housing projects will receive a deferral of DC payments for both local and regional DCs. This signals Richmond Hill's commitment to facilitating affordable housing in our city, provides certainty to our development community, and streamlines and expedites administrative processes. This work also aligns with the direction from the Affordable Housing Strategy, Action Plan Item 5.3. Next slide, please. In addition, work remains ongoing on the city's surplus and underutilized lands for affordable housing project. This work is similarly directed by the Affordable Housing Strategy and is a Housing Accelerator Fund action plan commitment. To date, the work associated with this project includes establishing an internal inventory of potential surplus and underutilized city-owned lands for affordable housing based on criteria for further investigation, creation of a draft framework to guide the steps involved in providing public lands for affordable housing, and reviewing and revising city policies and bylaws to enable the location of affordable housing on publicly owned lands. While the city generally only acquires lands for a specific purpose, this project also aims to identify a potential pilot site for consideration for affordable housing. To this end, city staff have been working in collaboration with York Region Housing Development staff on the feasibility of potential sites based on our limited inventory. York Region is the city's housing service manager, and the region's nonprofit housing agency, Housing York Inc., is the largest nonprofit builder and operator of community housing in Richmond Hill. We appreciate there is a keen interest in this initiative, and staff anticipate providing an update on this work at our next committee meeting. Next slide, please. That brings me to the end of our presentation today. In conclusion, we recommend that the committee receive this presentation and refer all comments back to staff. Thank you very much for your time this afternoon, and I'm happy to take comments or questions.
Well, thank you very much, Ashley. That was a great presentation. There's obviously a lot of work going on there. So I need to get us kicked off a motion to receive the update, and I see Kathleen McNackey has her hand up, and she looks like she's raring to move that motion as well as ask some questions. So go ahead, Kathleen.
Well, I will move the motion.
Okay, do you have some questions and comments as well?
Yes, I do. Actually, I'm really excited about this, the concierge pilot program. I read all the details, and I really congratulate you, Ashley, for including so much detail. And, it just, I don't know, I really feel uplifted by the fact that you're starting this pilot program. I represent supportive housing providers on the implementation committee. And my question is, you have said that you're going to facilitate relationships with various government people. I was wondering if in York Region or here in Richmond Hill, our support services come from York Region. And I'm really wondering if you could, and people who require supportive housing need support services. So I'm wondering if there's a possibility that we could ask, or supportive housing providers could ask you for some assistance in communicating with the region. I know in Toronto, the housing department works together with the community service department. And that's what I'd like to see, because supportive housing is housing. Sorry to be on a platform, but anyway, that's my question.
Yeah,
No, thank you.
so.
Go ahead,
Sorry.
Ashley.
Sorry. Thank you, Mr. Mayor, and through you, Mr. Chair. Thank you, Kathleen. So great question. Thank you very much. So I am very aware of the opportunity to better coordinate, collaborate with our regional partners, especially as it relates to supportive housing, as you say. And whereas someone like Toronto, where they've got everything in one shop in our two-tier system, that is not the case for us. So to your point, supportive housing is sort of an upper tier area, but still leans on the local municipal processes for things to happen. So the short answer is yes, absolutely. I think the concierge program will extend and consider supports for supportive housing providers as well. I think, the real nitty-gritty administrative details remain to be sussed out through this next implementation phase, but certainly from my perspective, supportive housing providers are one kind of affordable housing providers. So absolutely, I'd be happy to connect with yourself and any other supportive housing providers to figure out, we are really keen on figuring out ways to work together to deliver what we need for this community.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thanks very much, Kathleen. So Mike, you got your hand up as well?
Yes, through you, Mr. Chair. First of all, again, Ashley, my congratulations. That's an excellent start to the concierge program. I have 4 questions, if I may, or comments. May I ask what you're using as your feasible affordable housing threshold? Is it York Region's value, or is it CMHC's?
Good question,
Okay, well,
Ashley.
Yeah. One question at a time, Mike. Okay, through you, Mr. Chair. Thank you very much. So very good question, because the affordable housing thresholds are not as simple and straightforward as you would well know, as one might sort of believe outside of the affordable housing landscape. Our affordable housing strategy sets out affordability thresholds, both for rentalship and ownership. And so that is, I would say, an overarching definition that we use within the city. That being said, I don't envision that this concierge program is going to specifically tie to that threshold, because I think we need to be flexible in consideration of the fact that these varying programs have various methodologies, various thresholds. And it's all along a spectrum of what is affordable and to whom. So the short answer is there's no singular definition that I think will be tied to affordable housing applications for the purpose of this concierge program. I think really one of the key considerations is tying to those applications that are certain to provide long-term affordable housing, right? And so whatever the various program partners at the table that help to contribute to that security, if those definitions and thresholds are different, I think that there's a space for those applications within this program.
Thank you. Second question is looking at, in terms of partners, have you looked at also potential partners who could be innovators in housing in terms of technologies, academia. I know that York University has a program now looking at innovation. And then how could that, could Richmond Hill or surrounding York region communities be pilot projects for those innovations? So has any thought been to the using innovative technologies for affordable housing?
Thank you for the question.
Over to you, Ashley.
Yeah, I'm sorry, Mr. Mayor. I'm waiting for you to toss it to me through you, Chair. So thank you for the question, Mike. It's, you know what, it's a brilliant idea. I don't know that I can answer to say yes or no, we have or have not contemplated those. I think traditionally there's been less of that, but we're seeing more and more of that in the market, and even as so far as, you know, federal government commitments and around what they want to do. So certainly I think that's an avenue that we would like to explore as the program is sort of up and running. You know, we're, as a pilot program, it gives us this opportunity to kind of start a little bit smaller and then grow as we figure out what is working best and where the opportunities are. So I really appreciate the question, because now you're planting the seed for me to ensure that we don't discount any of those sort of potential partners that are maybe not as traditional as the ones that I've referenced through the presentation.
And last question, Mr. Mayor, through you. I just, as a suggestion, the length of time of affordability, you chose 25 years. Could I recommend 30?
Ashley?
So thank you through you, Mr. Mayor. So the existing CIP that is open for intake and on offer, what that requires is a commitment of a minimum of 25 years, but these are scored submissions. And so there is consideration of projects that commit to a greater length of affordability. So for the CIP, 25 minimum, by all means, we'd be happy for 30 or more. With respect to the concierge program, there's not necessarily a minimum longevity requirement baked into that at this point, because it's not unlike the affordable housing threshold, where it's like, let's figure out what these other partners are doing, and try to leverage that and then help those projects actually come to market as we all kind of come together as a collective. So I don't foresee that the concierge program will necessarily prescribe 25, 30, 99. But certainly we will be encouraging those applications to commit to as long as sort of possible.
Great. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Mike. Christopher, I see you've got your hand up.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Mayor. And through you, Ashley, similar feedback going, you know, great progress, great presentation. It's exciting to see it moving along so quickly, considering we just met on a lot of this last fall. My question specifically picking up on what Mike was inquiring along is, so how can you clarify how you're differentiating the applicants between the one window approach and the concierge, or am I mixing up that they're the kind of the same applicant?
Yeah, Ashley?
Thank you for the question, Chris. So essentially I envision this as almost like it's a two-tier. So this one window service, anybody can come ask questions. We'll take meetings with them to try to figure out if there's potential partnerships, programs that they might be able to leverage and that we can help to facilitate. And then beyond that, when we have an application that is then moving forward, and whether that is with partners or without, maybe in partnership with nonprofits, then there is this sort of enhanced level of service that is afforded to those specific applications that includes that priority status, the internal advocate sort of liaison piece where there's housing staff who are working directly alongside to help sort of navigate some of those internal channels, as well as coordinate with program partners if the case may be. So I would say they are not mutually exclusive. It's sort of like the big piece is this one window to ensure that we have a resource center and a point of contact for anybody who really wants to get affordable housing built in the city.
Mhm.
And then should that result in what is actually going to be a viable project, then we're in a place where we can offer this enhanced level of service through the concierge service.
Okay, so yeah, so it's basically like you're creating an quote unquote affordable housing office through the one window that people can just connect with and is more of a knowledge and partnership body, and then the concierge service is the back end of the actual technical mechanical delivery side of it. Okay. I think that's helpful. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense in terms of the approach and how it'll go forward. I guess the only comment is I think you may want to tie the concierge service to your programs to help like with the uptake, and then you'll drive people through the window. I get that it's nice to say anybody can enter through it, but I also think the reality of affordable housing is they'll, to deliver it, they'll be looking for those grants and programs that you're offering through the CIP. So there'll probably just a natural alignment in terms of creating the eligibility through the program, so you don't have so many different criteria across different windows and programs. But that's all for me. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much, Christopher. Is there anybody else, either on the committee or not on the committee, that would like to ask questions, make comments at this time? Councillor Davidson, I see your hand up.
Thank you. Hi, thank you. It's great to be part of this, even though I'm not on the committee. Very, very informative presentation. I really love how we're starting to really close in on what this is going to be and how we're going to actually make it move. So that's great. I do have two quick questions. One is the concierge position. Is that already something the city is accounted for in the budget, or is it something that will be funded through the fund? Is this a new position, or someone from staff will be repositioned?
Ashley?
Through you, Mr. Mayor. Sorry.
Yeah, no problem.
Thank you, Councillor, through the chair. So in terms of budgeting impacts for the concierge program, council had directed the establishment of two-year contract positions. I am sitting in one of them, and then I am supported by an intermediate planner. And so we are the affordable housing concierge staff. So those funds are already set aside for the duration of the 2-year contract, which extends through to 2026.
Great. Thank you.
So the short answer is no. Yeah, no immediate budget impact.
Right. Thank you, through you, Mr. Mayor. I forgot exactly what those positions were, but I do recall that. Thank you. I have another question about deferred DC charges. So if you're looking to do affordable housing in Richmond Hill and you don't get the part of the accelerator fund, then the other option is to be rewarded with DC reduction. But if you have the fund money, are they also going to get a DC reduction, or just the fund money? Through you, Mr. Chair.
To be clear, it's a deferral, not a reduction. I think.
Oh, you're right. You're right. Okay, a deferral. Sorry, that's an important.
Yeah, that's okay.
Right.
Ashley, go ahead.
Yeah. Thank you for the question, through you, Mr. Chair. It's a great question. The CIP recipients of the CIP or not does not impact eligibility for the deferral of DCs. Essentially, what Richmond Hill has done is committed to providing a deferral of our city DCs for those projects that are eligible for an existing regional policy that allows for the deferral of the payment of regional DCs, subject to these projects meeting their eligibility criteria. So to be direct, a project might be a recipient of CIP funding and also be eligible for the deferral of DC payments.
Through you, Mr. Chair. Thank you. I guess like, I don't want to be the fly in the ointment, but if I was going to build affordable housing, I would say, well, wait a minute. I think I'll wait till I get some of that the fund money, because they're getting both breaks and I'm only going to get DC referrals. So I don't know. I hope it doesn't de-incentivize others that aren't going to get the accelerator fund money. But if it was me, I would say, you know what, I'm going to wait. I'll take my chances and wait and see if I can get that fund and the DC. Do you see what I'm getting at? Is there any way to, I don't know. I just raised that. There's no real answer to that because obviously it's a regional thing too, but I hope it has the desired effect. Anyway, those are my questions. Thank you.
Thank you. Keeping it also in mind that the program that we have for the CIP is only for rentals. So if you were doing a condo that was affordable, then I guess that would be different. Is that right, Ashley? I mean, I'm not sure it's quite as straight a line as that.
So thank you for the comments. So actually both the regional policy, it's for rental, and the CIP, they're both for rental.
All right.
But I think I'm clear with potential CIP applicants. There are funding limitations associated with our CIP. And so, and beyond our half funds, we don't have an identified revenue source to continue to fund the per unit grant of the CIP. So I'm not sure that we're likely to see a bunch of potential proponents waiting in the hopes that maybe there's incentive funds. I think based on my conversation with development proponents, it takes the stacking of all of these incentives and programs and financial opportunities for their market performance to really pan out. Like that is what I have heard from our private market developers. And so that DC deferral piece, really that's some long-term operational support as cash flow is flowing in as the building is up and running as well. So, I mean, like you say, there's no way to know for certain, but I have not heard from proponents that I have spoken to that they're in fact really thrilled that Richmond Hill Council has gone this extra step to say, here's this DC deferral policy that the region offers, and we're gonna put in on it too, right? We want to make this happen. I've heard nothing but great things about that, even for potential development proponents who aren't able to apply for our CIP. They're really excited that even just that deferral is on offer. So I'm optimistic that they won't be holding back, hoping that maybe there's another intake to the CIP and you know, it's going to be better for them if they wait.
Okay, great. Thank you very much. Is there anybody else that would like to make comments, questions? Okay, seeing none. So we have a motion on the floor to receive with thanks the update, and all those in favor? Okay, that looks like that passes unanimously. And we've come to the final part of the meeting, which is very exciting. And I think probably Kathleen did such a great job with the motion before that she would probably like to also move the motion for adjournment and do it with great enthusiasm. So is that right, Kathleen?
Yes. I would like to
Okay.
move that this. I would like to move that this meeting be adjourned.
That is so great and so enthusiastic. All those in favor? Opposed? And you've got unanimous support, Kathleen. Have a great day, everybody.